Good morning, I'm Earth Dr. Reese Halter, and you're listening to Earthcast, SOS.com. On Wednesday morning, the day before New Year's Eve, an enormous area blanketing the North Pole had temperatures ranging between 30 and 35 degrees Fahrenheit, approximately 50 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than normal. The night before, the barometric pressure of a cyclone over Iceland, a whale-killing nation, plummeted by 54 millibars in just 18 hours. It landed at 928 millibars at 1 a.m. New York City time, making it one of the top 5 storms of all times. In America, the week of Christmas saw incredibly warm temperatures for the eastern half of the entire nation. In Philadelphia, every day in December was above average. Frightening, horrendous tornadoes occurred in the Southeast. Mississippi, Tennessee, Arkansas were ravaged by tornadoes. 15 people killed. Then days later, EF4 twisters with winds between 156 and 200 miles per hour laced into northern Texas and then smashed into a Dallas suburb, leaving 11 dead and over 600 structures damaged. At least 68 tornadoes were reported in 15 states from California to the Carolinas and into the Deep South from December 21st to the 28th. It was the longest streak on record of December days with a tornado. We know Texas and the Southeast have Tornado Alley. We know it's the most active tornado zone on the globe, and it's linked to seasonally migrating jet streams, normally. This violent activity in December is 3 months ahead of schedule. It's abnormal, obviously, and in part, it's linked to the massive blob of warm water hugging the eastern Pacific equator. Y'all know it by name, El Nino. This year, El Nino is supercharged with heat. Why? Indeed, why? Each day we burn 134 million metric tons of heat-trapping, climate-altering, subsidized fossil fuels. And that heat has been stored deep in the oceans. But now it's surfacing with vengeance. For months, my colleagues have been watching the blob closely moving across the Pacific. So far, the Pacific in mid-December has caused floods in Paraguay, Argentina, Uruguay, and Brazil. 160,000 people were forced from their homes from some of the worst flooding in South America in half a century. Scotland, England, Wales experienced record-breaking floods on Christmas weekend, which brought over 8 inches of moisture to already saturated soils. A couple billion British pounds worth of damage and flooding isn't even over yet. Nor is it where the Missouri River meets the Mississippi River, St. Louis. Record-breaking flooding. While all this is happening, Australia is hot, dry, and burning on Christmas Day. Saw over 5,000 acres very quickly incinerated down to the ocean along Victoria's spectacular Great Ocean Road, where 116 homes were devoured by walls of flames from tinderbox dry forests. No human lives were lost, but sadly, many wild creatures perished. Back to the Arctic heat wave. The Arctic is breaking many records, not just day records. The average air temperature over the Arctic land reached 2.3 degrees Fahrenheit, above average for the year ending in September. It was the warmest year on record since the inception of continuous records in 1900. Let's shift a little geographically to Greenland, where for the first time since the exceptional melt of 2012, significant melting, like more than 50% of the area of Greenland's ice sheets, experienced melting. OMG! Between the end of 2014 and 15 melt seasons, 22 of 45 of the widest and fastest flowing glaciers ending in the ocean had retreated. 300 gigatons, or 180 by 180 miles of ice, land ice, melted. By the way, that's the equivalent melt of the Totten Glacier each year in eastern Antarctica. Just one glacier alone. This summer, NOAA released a picture of Earth's temperatures. In the northern hemisphere around Iceland, near Greenland, there was a conspicuous blue dot surrounded by red. That blue dot has been dubbed the cold blob from Greenland's epic meltwater. That cold water has the potential to, say, flood Europe and create storms like Frank, now hammering Western Europe, and the drowning of England, Scotland, and Wales. It's bloody infuriating that the Paris climate talks removed oceans from the main text. Oceans drive our climate. And while I'm on the Paris climate talks, kid yourself not, ladies and gentlemen, we have not invented a way to suck CO2 out of the atmosphere from burning 49 billion metric tons of subsidized fossil fuels each year. Those subsidies, according to the International Monetary Fund, are in the order of $5.6 trillion annually. What the frack? Rather, I might bring to your attention, that's what our ancient forests, oceans, and their phytoplankton and healthy soils do. Suck CO2 out of the atmosphere and store it. Nature does the heavy lifting. Only a fool would propose that humans can do better than nature. Hashtag Save Nature Now. Protect all the remaining wild forests. Build all agricultural soils like Alan Yauman's book, Priority 1. Together we can beat global warming by adding plant-based food scraps and manures to all agricultural soils. And stop killing whales, Japan, Iceland, Norway, and Denmark. Whales are helping us fight the climate crisis. The filter-feeding whales are fertilizing the sea with their flocculent fecal plumes, their poop, rich in iron and nitrogen, essential to grow oxygen-bearing phytoplankton, which not only produces almost 3 out of every 4 breaths of air, oxygen that we all, 7.4 billion of us, and growing, 100 million a year, breathe, but it sucks the CO2 out of the atmosphere. Hello? Nowhere at the Paris climate talks did anyone mention that we're missing 40% of the ocean's phytoplankton, the base of the entire marine food web. Ladies and gentlemen, expect more wild weather. It's time to future-proof our homes and our communities. Prepare for what's ahead. Hashtag save nature now. Hashtag love nature. Hashtag love is the solution. Earthcast SOS needs a helping hand. Come on to drreese.com, Reese, REESE.com, drreese.com, and make it happen by clicking on the donate button, or pick yourself up any number of cool books on bees, trees, and seas. Just do it. drreese.com. I'm Earth Doctor Reese Halter, reminding you to protect our planet.